So hi there, I'm Jacob Mathai. I live in Portland, Oregon. I've been living here about 10 years. I live here with my son, who's 4 years old, and my wife. And I work in product development. I work for a software company called Mentor Graphics, and we make software to design and verify semiconductors, things like microprocessors. And so when I'm not working, I'm pretty active. I like to be outside. I hike and I swim and I run, and I just love exploring the Pacific Northwest, just anywhere outside. And so I spend a lot of time chasing after a 4-year-old. I just always trying to be a better husband and a better father. And so I read a lot of books around early childhood education, mostly because I want to learn kind of current thinking around being a parent and raising kind of responsible and thoughtful kids. And so yeah, and so 2014, I had a chance to attend design thinking boot camp at the D School. David Kelly actually came and talked to us, I think, on the second day, or maybe it might have been the third day. He actually signed copies of Creative Confidence. That book changed my life. I gave it to everyone I know this past Christmas, and yeah, and so design thinking has sort of become something that just a valuable set of tools to make great technology products at work. But it's actually, in many ways, sort of um, a framework that I'm using to sort of lead a more meaningful and impactful life. Raise a more responsible son. Work through conflicts with a 4-year-old. Try to decide where I'm going on vacation with my wife. How we spend our times. How we teach our kids about values. It's very much sort of just become a way to help me sort of kind of navigate through life. And so the prompt that I kind of wanted to explore with you guys was, how might we rethink early childhood education? Um, um, and I live here in Portland with a 4-year-old. I've got a son who attends a child development center where I work. We've actually introduced design thinking to his school. So think about a group of 4 to 6-year-olds exploring a prompt like, how do we get Olson the whale to come visit the school? And these kids actually converge and diverge, and I've seen it, and brainstorm on ideas, and then eventually kind of zoomed in. They zoomed in on an idea around building a crane, and then they started actually making drawings, making low-resolution prototypes, constructing things out of popsicle sticks like this. Here's something that I made with my son. It's a replica of the Hawthorne Bridge in Southeast Portland, if you've ever been there. It's load-bearing. Um, um, and then finally, their idea, the crane idea that the kids had, converged into a 6-foot crane. I mean, we helped them, but they actually actualized an idea, worked in a group, and I really saw the growth that my son had kind of through that process. And so I do a lot of that with him at home, one-on-one, but actually seeing him do that with his peer group was a really meaningful experience. So that got me thinking about could we actually introduce these ideas into his school, and I've actually seen that we could. And so the idea was, could we? And so, in 2014, I had a chance. Not 2014, I think it was 2012. In 2012, I actually had a chance to spend some time in the Eastern Himalayas. I was doing some hiking in the Everest region, and as part of that trip, I got a chance to observe and see some rural communities, particularly some schools, kids going to school. And I always told myself I wanted to come back and spend some more time here, understanding these experiences, just because I thought, at a minimum, I would just enrich my understanding of that part of the world, what it meant to actually go to school there or live in that kind of part of the world, but also to sort of enrich what's actually going on here at home. And so my idea was, could we actually link the experiences of kids going to school in Portland, here like my son, or San Diego, or anywhere, um, with kids in rural Nepal? And so it creates some sort of a mechanism where they could learn about each other's cultures, similar to my son working on a crane experiment here. Could he actually work on that crane experiment with kids in Nepal, and how would that actually look like? And through that process, like how do we tackle things like language and culture, and just the idea of how my son might grow through some sort of an experience like this. Um, Essentially have the kids work on projects across countries. Um, and I'm not talking about a sort of a distance learning play, but essentially creating some sort of a program where uh, concepts like design thinking are introduced to K through 12 um, in one part of the world, um, in parallel in another part of the world, and then we combine these kids to actually go work on something together. Um, um, yeah, so that's my idea, and so and that's my storyboard and my prototype for now. And so I would really love the opportunity to get to talk to you guys some more and maybe work with you on bringing this to life. Thanks.